I got your antidote. You need the antidote. I got your antidote. Bottle of hay, yeah. I'm feeling fine, crack me a Dutch shot. Time to unwind, yeah. Kama Sutra in my thoughts, I'm hoping she won't shut me down. If she ain't the one for the night, I know others in town. Trying to do right. If she go bye, me it's so insane thing. That's just what time. If you say that you're gone, I just act like it's nothing to me. When you say that you love me, it's something I didn't believe. Back on my bullshit, stuck on my ways, I always ignored them on bad behavior. Should've done right. You say I lie, shooting the light. Now there's no chilling with you. This that on my mistakes. 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 This one for you. This one for you. This one for I ain't gon' see you again. This one for you. This one for you. This one for the lost me in love and pray. This one for you. 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 Summertime blue. Fall of ship, all aboard, brace the dip. Love at war. Wish I could do magic just like Dumbledore. Would we be a better fit if I wasn't so reckless? Never did I leash onto you, wasn't looking a benefit. Follow me down this road. But we end, I should've been no. Offered a heart about 2 years ago. Down with the doc, you know how it go. You were a class act that could've played the full stage. Full plate was full, never knew I was capable of playing you. That was too late for two. I was out of my mind on 9-9. Blaming on the wine, oh la. Really not the type for drama. Still I pay the price with karma. You say I lie. Should've done right. Showed in the light. There's no chillin' with you. This that on my mistakes. 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 This one for you. This one for you. This one for I ain't gon' see you again. This one for you. This one for you. This one for the lost me in love and pray. This one for you. 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 Summertime blue. Since day one, all I care about is family and my day ones. Money, power, and respect be embedded in me. I don't care what you say, no one is better than me. Melanin be in my skin, so the pays watch. Middle finger to the eyes and keep the semi-cocked. I'm the product of Wu-Pun, Big Pac. We don't gotta be cool, go kick rocks. Only ease the mind when I meditate. Pessimist at first, now I flirt with faith. I just know I'm special like a 38. Either island of a hill or see the pearly gates. You don't see me smile till there's gold in it. I'm just being real, don't stick your nose in it. You ain't trying to listen to this rose in it. You ain't trying to listen to this rose in it. Bottle of that juice, man, the Henny sweet. Bring the pump to your kin and say trick or treat. Test me, I'ma put you in forever sleep. I'm your antidote, and I'm puffing on the remedy. Find me in the cut, test the melodies. Cause I don't like what they be selling me. I'm wishing good luck to my enemies. Y'all gon' be stuck with the jealousy. Tell them I said rest in peace. This is that fire. I be that guy. My click won't stop. I'm a beast, roll, die. This is that fire. I be that guy. My click won't stop. I'm a beast, roll, die. This goes out to you, you. This goes out to you. This goes out to you. This goes out to you and you. This goes out to you. This goes out to. Hello world. Yeah, I've been there before. On the edge of the ledge. Eyes focused on floor. Grown a lot since then. Lost love and found more. Trying to be a better me. Quit smoking Newports. Lost jobs. Had to scramble and find look, pay rent. Chick that I fucked last week. Called and said she pregnant. I'm not ready for kids. I felt less of a man, but you died. I can't lie. I felt nothing inside. Relationships have been shit. I'm quick to cut ties to the point that I'm numb. I don't even say bye. Don't even look in my eyes. You be wasting your time. I won't let you see shit. How to let you
If it
inside.
wasn't for vibes, I'd be a piece of shit. Or maybe worse, laid in the dirt. For what it's worth, I see now still so much to be proud of. On the real, I was just trapped in my thoughts.
The sky is the limit. Always heard that. Found myself when I.
You were talking, but they couldn't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Welcome everybody to Extra
Like, why was it
Toppings.
the
It's your
power
Friday
on?
night favorite host show with myself, Erica Monique Williams, and Ruth.
What's good, y'all? How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully, everyone's having a great evening. You know what? It's just this weather's crazy.
Yes.
You know, in the morning,
over here burning
it's
up.
winter, and as soon as like the sun comes up, it goes right back to summer. So we don't have what do you call it? I forgot who I was talking to, Darrell or something, but we don't have a fall anymore. Like it just doesn't
Right.
exist.
It's either hot.
It goes to summer straight into winter, but again, there's no we don't have any in between. Freezing at night, freezing in the morning. In the daytime, it's freaking burning.
Well, that's global warming, isn't it?
You think
I
it's
mean,
global warming?
It's the effects of it. We're starting to feel the effects of global warming. Iceland is melting.
I think we going to hell in gasoline droves. That's just me. I'm just putting.
I ain't going to hell. I'm saved and
That's just-
delivered.
You going right with me, folks. Believe what you want to believe. You're gonna be. I'm gonna save you a nice little seat right next to me,
I'm not
and
going.
get this stuff. How was your day?
My day was busy. I want to say to everyone, we really are dedicated to this show because Fridays are hard. You know, we run into traffic. I'm picking up kids, dropping them off home, telling them to eat whatever they want to eat for dinner. It's Friday. Don't bother me. I got my show. I'll
There's
be
food
like,
in the
look,
refrigerator. Just grab
that's right.
some.
I'm like, I got to go to my show. Y'all do what y'all do. Handle it. You know, because I love coming here and doing
Oh
this
man,
thing.
this is
We've
definitely
been
a
doing this-
highlight.
Yes.
Busy week, busy day. I had to finally get this taken care of.
Yeah.
It was getting out of rages, but it was just like I was like, you know what? I was gonna take the way I normally take to get here, but I was like, yo, let me try GPS, and I'm like, mother effer, I've been taking the long way the entire time.
Why? Where do you get off?
Well, coming from my barber shop is literally like a 5-minute drive from there to here.
Right.
But I would go back down way Teaneck Road to get on Route 4 to come here. Which
Okay.
is like a 15, 20-minute drive.
So how did it tell you to come?
It told me to come pretty much back street way, but it only took like 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Compared to the 20 I take going way back down Teaneck Road, Route 4, getting off here. I'm like, never again. Never again.
You learn something new every day.
You ain't lying. My old ass. All right, y'all.
Speaking of old, happy
Oh.
birthday, hip hop. The hip hop industry is recognized with starting with Sylvia Robinson's Sugar Hill Gang, which was on her Sugar Hill Records label, her and her husband Joe Robinson.
Which one?
So we definitely, which husband?
No, I'm saying with Sugar Hill Gang. That's the sad thing. It
Oh.
teaches the lesson about music and properly making sure that everything's taken care of. Because there's the Sugar Hill Gang, then there's the real Sugar Hill Gang. Because the guys didn't know about copyrighting your name and everything. And you know, the fake ones are still getting the royalties from the real individuals, which is sad. But happy 40th.
Yeah, I mean they're having events across the country for hip hop over the weekend,
Nice.
and I'm looking at the Suburbanite with Big Bang Hank, Master G, and Wonder Mike on the cover, talking about
Put it up. Let's see it.
their
There we go.
experience.
There we go.
Yes, and I remember being a little girl and listening to Mr. Magic. Mr. Magic had a radio show. You know,
Was it 90? It was 98, wasn't it? It was 98, wasn't it?
No, 98.
No, I could have swore back in the days
Oh.
98 was hip hop, and then they switched over, they changed.
You saying the station?
The station you would listen to.
1998.
Nah. The station you used to listen to, if I'm not mistaken, I could have swore that
I don't
it
remember, but
was
it was
98
Mr.
and they
Magic.
switched over.
Switch over to
Well, yeah, a lot of times. A
well,
lot of the
92 W.
Wow, forgot about that one.
Yeah, there have been some changes, but with BLS is still standing strong. I mean, Power 105.1 is the newest hip hop station.
Yeah, about
Between Hot
11,
97.
12 years, something like that.
Mhm.
Actually, probably a little longer, if I'm mistaken. I remember when 105 was coming out, and they did, it was like, what, 12 straight days with music, no commercials. And they were making fun because everyone else was doing what they do. And then I think that's what Ed Lover and them first came out. So it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah, and when you look back on the time that it's been around, it's recognized, it's credited with a lot of influence on this culture, and not just the black community. I mean, we know that hip hop has gone into mainstream, but there are a lot of different genres within that genre, and we've had different eras that have kind of died off and lended itself to. Because when I think of being conscious, we had, what are the three? DOS Effect? No, not DOS Effects.
Wow. It's like, that's like.
The
girl.
three Potholes in My Lawn. Who did that?
Oh, wow. De La Soul.
De La
They
Soul.
taught people, I guess, lessons from also a business standpoint, because they didn't make not $1 off their album because they didn't approve any of those samples that they did. So
Okay.
even though the album did phenomenally, they made nothing
No
off
money.
of it because they didn't
They didn't get clearance.
clearance for
Right.
the samples.
Well, I mean, you're talking about the Sugar Hill Gang. They were young when they started out and just probably wanted to be creative and share their artistic talents. And then, I mean, I don't think they probably didn't even think they would get as famous as they are. I mean, this is 40 years later, and we're still talking about the Sugar Hill Gang.
I mean, even though Rappers Delight was 40 hours long, like prom,
That was
like
a long
literally
song, like 7 minutes.
It was different. It brought us kind of like to a new era. And what I love about it is just like with the hip hop today. where you have a lot of people who weren't ready for hip hop back then, or that particular type of hip hop or music,
Right.
and now today's hip hop music, where it's more lines of more trappy, less lyrical, more about beat and hype, and more of the older guys is like, yo, I don't want to listen to this shit. You know what I mean? Don't listen to it. There are people out here that love it, they like it. You listen to what you love and like, and let everyone else do the same.
Well, you're growing up. I mean, like, if you're growing up, wherever you start listening to the music, that's your era. So you're not gonna be able to. I mean, not saying you can't appreciate the older type of music, but you're gonna understand what's your generation more than an era that you're not familiar with. You know, it's been a lot of things happening in the world that affected the music too. I mean, and not just hip hop. You know, rock, country. You know, even comedy. Everything in media deals with what's going on in the world. So, I mean, when you look at um, Five, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and they had white lines.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm a historian. When it
remember
comes
that
to
shit.
music, I know some stuff. But I mean, when you look at Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, and they were saying white lines, it was a negative connotation on using drugs. But now our younger people celebrate drug use and
I mean, again,
promote
it's,
it.
it's I guess what's popular to say, because you have a lot of individuals that understand the business world compared to the individuals who are serious about it. Like the biggest example I could give you is what was it, City Girls,
That just came out.
who talk about sucking and fucking everything and doing else, and both of them are pretty much married.
Okay.
So you're talking about sucking and fucking everything that moving, but you're married. You know what I mean? So it's
Well,
like
Two Chains is married.
Well, yeah,
and
but
I
so
mean,
I'm
we
saying you
found
have-
out that a lot of rappers are married.
you have a lot. To me, I look at a lot of today's music is like the WWE. It's entertainment.
Right.
This is what you want to hear, so I'm
Right.
going to put it out there because it's what you want to hear.
Well, does that make it fake? If you're an artist that knows how to reach the masses,
I don't
does
know
it-
about fake. I just
Because
think
I'm
it's,
sure
it's
they remember
entertainment.
when they were
Because
fucking-
wrestling isn't fake. It's orchestrated. It's just like anything else you do, like a gymnastics. It's a routine.
Right. So why can't they talk about what they remember doing? Maybe they're married now, but that doesn't mean they wasn't doing that before they were married.
I mean, you have a lot of people that do crazy things, or it's just more, again, like for the City Girls, like it's what's popular now. Cardi B talking about fucking the second, Offset on everything, and these girls are coming off and talking about fucking the second and everything, and by the end of the day, like they pretty much like booed up.
But Little Kim was talking about that too.
She was a smut at the time, so it's
I never
just blood.
slept on the show. Thank you.
It's just more lines. I think from a business standpoint, you want to. Don't share that. Keep that to yourself. From a business standpoint, you want to make money. You want to make sales.
Right.
So from a business standpoint, you want to put out there what's going to generate. Just like we talked about, where as far as the young, attractive male singers, rappers, even though they were married or in relationships, you never wanted them to mention that.
Right.
Because it would take the fantasy away from young men or young women that think they had a chance.
Right.
Which is why they bought their music, downloaded songs, merchandise, or whatever. So you want to keep that image. So, like, I kind of understand it.
If it works, it works. And I mean, only problem I have with the is that, and I mean, that's even becoming obsolete because a lot of these young people own their own masters. They're not signed to any label.
They all right. What
They
they're
have
doing
distribution.
is right. They have
Right, they have
distribution
distribution,
deals.
yes.
So they're still kind of in the pocket, but not in the pocket as far as other people are. Where you have a lot of these other a lot of these other artists that are in these 360 deals. or real horrible deals just because of the fact that they a 360 deal is good if you have money to put on yourself. 360 deal isn't good when you don't, because the company they want to take everything back and own all this and whatever. But if you're able to put money up as far as yourself and your music, it'll benefit you too in the long run. It will. But like I said, congratulations, 40 years. It's
Yeah.
been great.
And this is well, I can't say it's the first type of music that is your parents and children are listening to the same type of music, but yeah.
You think that?
Well, see, okay, my mom used to play Marvin Gaye, the Spinners, you know, Lovin' in the Blue Notes, and I would hear that, Saturday morning when she's cooking or cleaning, I would hear that music. It wasn't my choice of music. That we listened to the same music,
Right.
but now we could be in the car and all of us are singing this song
Same, yeah.
together, and I think it's you have. You have a lot of rappers whose kids are now
Oh,
rappers. Corey Guns is Peter Guns' son.
he's still locked up, ain't he?
But I'm saying
I know. I understand what you're saying from a
now,
standpoint.
rap has gotten so old that some of the offspring
Okay, I
rappers
understand.
are
Right,
now
right.
rappers.
That's true. That's true. You say it from that standpoint, it does kind of make sense. But again, happy birthday.
Yes,
we
happy
wish you the
birthday,
grace the
hip-hop.
most.
I used to
Anymore, it's
love
not
her.
going anywhere because people continue to make money off of it.
And some people turn into snitches.
See, this is the debate that me and you are gonna have
Yes.
on this topic right here. So I'm glad you brought it up. So go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we have these people that grow up to want to be rappers, and they turn out to want to be gangsters. You should just be happy being a rapper. Now you want to be a gangster, and you're not. So sometimes, when they say art imitates life, this
Okay.
is kind of like
Nice way to
life
put it.
imitating art, because it was art for him, and then his life started taking on what his art was portraying, which is, that happens, right? You can't, if you don't want to get burnt, don't jump in the fire. So he chose to take on this image of a gangster, which he wasn't, and now it's all messed up for him. His life is basically done. He's not going to be a successful rapper anymore, because no one will give him any type of airplay. And
You think they won't play his music?
I haven't heard any more of his music.
I mean, I think they'll still play it, but I mean, he's not gonna come out with any music anymore. Once he's done testifying, they're going to put him somewhere. Massive
He sure won't
tattoo,
be performing anywhere.
removal
Right.
things of that notion. I don't know if his girlfriend is gonna be going with him. What's gonna happen with his daughter? Because once you go in WITSEC, you're not gonna be able to contact with her if she doesn't go with you. I want to say this. I don't agree with everyone else's belief as far as the snitching. All right. Let me put it this way. I grew up in the worst 5 mile stretch in America. I'm hood as shit. I want to say that to say this. I don't believe this gentleman is snitching. I believe he's surviving. This is a person, because I've seen and been around a lot of hardcore people, a lot of people who are hard and thug, but in prison, it's not for them.
Right.
This is a man who's surviving. This is a man who will tell on his motherfucking mother if it would get him out of jail, because he's not about that life. You have a lot of people when they're on the streets, they're hard, they're tough, but once them gates close and the motherfuckers tell you when you can eat, how you can eat, when you gotta sit on a metal fucking toilet to take a shit, to when you have to buy Snickers that's $5. You know what I'm saying? So until you get into the point to where you really have to live that lifestyle. Now, I would say Sammy the Bull was a snitch. This was a guy who was about that life. He lived that life. He accepted that life. And to save himself, he decided to go against it. 6ix9ine was a blood affiliate, which means he was around a lot of Bloods. They gave him credit, but he wasn't actual blood. He pretty much worked with or for Shotti, who is OG, or a general who, with other members, kind of ran things and really protected a guy, where he wouldn't allow anyone to touch him, and he was serious. Once everything was good and it was golden, no, you couldn't touch him. He talked hella shit, and he was protected. But sooner or later, he was going to find out that he was being robbed. And this is when a lot of the problems, the issues started to happen.
Right. So is he really supposed to be loyal to the people that robbed him?
And this is what I'm saying. This is a guy who was getting hundreds of thousands to do a show, but he was being told it was only 60, 70, 80,000. Where the team was pocketing the money and then giving him a cut out of what they claimed he was. So a lot of the bullshit was starting or being started way before shit started to go really left. He was the cash cow. He was the guy that was bringing in the money, that was allowing a lot of these individuals to create what they created. Because Shotti, people may not know, Fetty Wap was signed to Shotti's label now, management team. I don't know if he still is since he went to jail, but
Right.
Fetty Wap was there. One of his baby mothers was there, and a lot of other artists were there because they were hot. You know, and you wanted to be a part of that nucleus. So sooner or later, once this guy found out he was being robbed of money, and even though he staged shit and whatever situation may be, once the federal government comes after you, their conviction rate is like 98%. Them motherfuckers get you. Once they have all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, you going to jail. So you have a guy who's not built to do 15 years like Shotti was like, all right, cool, I'm good with that. This man ain't built to do
They
15
said he was
years.
crying.
Who, Shotti?
Yeah.
Hey, 15 years might sound good.
15
Didn't
years.
sound good. It's not like you're old, super old. I mean, you could still come out and, you know, hopefully you stash some money. You can still live a
Right.
decent life. But at the end of the day, 6ix9ine ain't trying to do 15 fucking years. He not even trying to do 15 fucking
But he's
minutes.
going to be in prison for the rest of his life.
Absolutely not.
Just not the walls of prison.
Right.
He's not going to be able to live his normal life ever again.
Well, here's the thing. What's normal? I mean, 6ix9ine is what? Almost 30?
Is he really?
20, I think he's, I gotta find his age.
I thought
But
he
at
was
the end of the
young.
day, he's only been hot for about 2-3 years.
Right.
All right. So if you take the 2 or 3 years compared to how long he was actually hot, he was born in 1997.
Okay.
So he's 22. All right.
Yeah, I didn't think he was that old.
So if you look at it from a certain standpoint where he's 22 years old, he's been hot for maybe 3 years, so he's been used to not being famous longer than he has been famous. Now,
yeah, but when
yes, you
get
can
famous,
get used to
it
it.
changes your whole life.
It does,
you
but
don't
you
wanna
could get-
go backwards.
You ain't got no
have-
motherfucking choice. See,
I mean,
All right,
he
it's
doesn't
just
have
like-
a choice.
where they teach you and they say, when you claim foreclosure and you want a bankruptcy, there's certain things that even Donald Trump is a billionaire, but at one point he filed bankruptcy. He was given $200,000 allowance a month to get out of his situation. Whatever. So a man who's a billionaire going to $200,000, yeah, that's a big hit. But at the end of the day, you're looking at a man who probably the government's gonna allow him to keep a couple of dollars, some change. They're gonna give him a job at Walmart, well, not Walmart, but some janitor to where he won't be seen. Yes, he's not gonna be able to.
Recognizable. You're
He-
always gonna know that it's him.
You'll be
Even when you take
amazed
those-
at what surgery can do. I could put up a photo, and I should have thought about it. I should have did of Kim Kardashian prior surgery to Kim Kardashian now, and you wouldn't recognize it. So surgery is a wonderful fucking thing. You remove all those fucking tattoos. You do something with the nose, cheekbones, jawbones, nose, ears, all that shit. You wouldn't recognize this dude if you walk by him.
Maybe.
You wouldn't recognize him. Now,
But see, he's the type, like in Goodfellas,
yeah,
when he took the protective,
yeah.
right. He wasn't good with that, being a nobody in a country. Like, he was ready to go back and
Right.
live that life.
Right, he still
So
wanted to have that
Tekashi,
lifestyle.
20-something years old. By the time he's like 30, he's going to be like, oh, they forgot. Come on, I'm trying to get my career back. He's going to come
Oh,
back.
he'll never have a career
How
ever again.
He was a snitch. He's not a snitch no more.
He'll never
Whatever
have
the
a career
case
again.
is.
His career's over. He
Well-
would have to go back to being a janitor, whatever job they're gonna get him. He'll be at Witsec forever. I mean, even though Sammy, when he came out, he's like, fuck Witsec. That nigga's like, I'm still about that life. Come see me if you want. And that nigga was a savage when he was in the street. So even though a lot of people want to get him, they scared to kind of approach him.
Right.
So it's like, I want to get you, but I try to get you on my terms, whatever. Even though he wound up going back because of the whole sending bongs and shit to the wrong stuff. He pretty much took the case for his daughter, his family, to go to jail to save them. But in this sense, I look at it again as a survival. I blame, and I mean no disrespect to these gentlemen, I blame Shotty and them for having someone who wasn't about that life around when you were committing these crimes.
Yeah.
You should have knew this guy he's just a cash cow. He's
He
affiliated.
should have known anything.
He shouldn't have been.
There's
Yeah, he
nothing
shouldn't
that
have
he
been
should not have
around when a
known
lot of
anything.
things were going on. So when the government came around, he wouldn't have had anything to talk about.
Right. That's
So
right.
I would
They
say
put themselves in that position.
to understand it, but I also want to give a shout out to Bobby Smurda. This is a guy who took 7 not to tell. He could have been out now, but he refused to snitch on his peoples, and them Crips were fucking serious. Them niggas was serious. Bodies, nigga. These dudes were official, but when it came to fact of where I think he could have did like a year and a day or something like that, he decided to take a 7 with his peoples. And when he got locked up, he was 20. So by the time he get out, he'd be 27. He's still young. He still has
And he can live his
he
life.
can live his life. He'll be able to go back to music, and he'll be that dude, that real dude who stood up tall, did his time, didn't snitch on his peoples, didn't tell on his peoples. But again, like, he was about that life
But
for
you know
fucking
what?
real.
Actually, that doesn't mean that his life will be spared either. Because you live that life, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. He get out, he's gonna be pumped up because he didn't tell. So that means he didn't learn,
Well,
and that
I-
means
I
he's
think
gonna
he
come
will
out here
learn,
and get
just-
right back into that life.
I think he'll learn to the fact to where what I think, unfortunately, a lot of teams don't do. If there's one person in the team that's a cash cow, you don't allow that cow to be around anything but grass. Nigga, eat this grass, be boring. There you go. Go ahead. Nigga, we'll send you a letter. What happened? You can burn it afterwards.
Right.
But you have to protect the breadwinner
Right, you do.
and make sure that money continues to come in. It continues to flow. You don't allow that cash cow or that money flow to stop under any circumstances. So I say this, Cardi, be careful.
Yeah, I was gonna say before we cut the story
Yeah.
though, you know what makes her admit that she's a blood? I mean, I guess she can't denounce them.
I mean,
but-
she's been bigging them up for years. She's been going at even like they were saying when she went to Cali, it might be an issue because she had a blue fur on. Even she like it. I don't want to catch the flu, but her name doesn't start with a B. People, her real name, it's Cardi B. What do you think the fucking B stands for? I applaud her, but she also needs to be careful. But I don't think I think she's or her team's intelligent enough, even if she is around certain things, to not be around when certain
But
things
do
are
you
being
think because he named her and Jim Jones?
done. He naming everybody.
Okay, but do you think that that's going to bring the heat on them?
Well, Jim has always said in every fucking song that he was a blood. You know, unless he was there when Jim or Cardi was doing dirt, which we know he wasn't. Him just naming them ain't really hurting it. I mean, look at gosh, I had the person's
I mean,
name
she had that
in my head.
Pepsi commercial. I wonder if it would affect.
Is it
her
gonna hurt her endorsements? We'll see. I haven't heard anything as far as she's losing sponsorship because of it. So I think as of right now, she's pretty good. She's pretty safe. All right, here's just the NFL before we go to the next story. Deshaun Jackson, one of the most popular wide receivers, is a very known Crip. From well, no, he's not from Compton. He might be from Compton, but he's from L.A. And his team is thorough to where he was questioned several times
Okay.
when people that he has been affiliated with, associated with, that caught bodies. You know what I mean? And even though they tried to tie him into it, they couldn't because they were intelligent enough to where, yes, he's around, but he wasn't around when crimes were being committed.
Right.
So all you can say is that these two people just know each other. I know that person. He committed a crime. That I didn't commit the crime.
Right.
I just happen to know someone who committed a crime. You see the intelligent, like the way to do it. To still do what you do, maybe even if you helping your boys out, you throwing a couple of dollars, you're keeping the streets flooded or whatever. There's a way to do it to where it won't come back on you and fuck you in the ass. Because they've tried to come at him 2 separate occasions for people getting shot and people getting killed. So from this guy's situation, he does not want to do 1 second longer than he has to have to do. He's going to tell on anyone and everyone that ever talked around him, to Trippie Redd, to everyone that committed crimes or talked about who they were.
Again, why would he be loyal to people that was robbing him? Like,
It's not, well, I mean, Trippie ain't even robbed. I mean, even though they caught beef later on, but at the end of the day, it's about me not trying to do time. So I'm snitching, nigga. I'm snitching.
we
well,
don't
not
know if he's
snitching.
gonna make
I'm-
it. We don't even know if he's gonna survive.
I'm doing self-preservation. That's what he's doing right now. He's gonna survive. They're gonna put him somewhere nice, and it's just about him doing the right things to prevent himself from being a part of the back to that life like we talked about before.
right.
So as long as he could do that, I think he'll be good. I want to talk about this. We got 2 more stories to talk about. Papa John's. I really wanted to talk about this because those of you who may or may not forgot, Papa John's is a pizza company that actually does sell a better product. And I want to say it from this standpoint. I've met someone that would prefer not as good ingredients to having better overall ingredients. So, say for instance, let's say if you eat an onion, that onion is grade A, which means it's the freshest, it's the
Right.
best quality, but you don't like it. You would prefer C or D,
Okay.
even though it might have more steroids, more HMOs, all this other shit.
Right.
But because you were raised on an inferior brand
That's
of
what you're
doing
used to.
things or whatever you're used to, you like that more, even
Right.
though technically this is better for you.
But I remember being little, going down south because my grandparents lived in North Carolina and tasting a fresh chicken, and it does not taste right.
To you, right? Because of
Yeah.
the freshness.
Right.
Even though it's sending you
It
straight to the
didn't
bathroom
taste-
because it's so fresh, but you're not used to that. Like the chicken is still head is still bleeding. The chicken stopped running around. We cut it up and put it, cut the head.
With no preservatives.
flour it.
Where's all the preservatives?
Right. So we're so used. So Papa John's does make better pizza with better overall quality This is a franchise owned, well, former CEO and founder. Well, he's still a founder, who had an issue with the Kaepernick kneeling situation.
Right.
This is around the time where the NFL was sponsored by Papa John. And they weren't doing as well as he thought they should have. And he wanted to blame the Colin Kaepernick, Eric Berry kneeling during the NFL's, singing the national anthem, which they never did before until 9/11. But they never did it until 9/11 because of the whole situation that happened. And he wanted to be proud to be American. So they started doing it. But Kaepernick, with a lot of things that were happening to a lot of black people being killed, cops killing black people, was saying, I fear for my life, just getting off. He decided to take a knee, which kind of cost him his NFL job, even though they settled out of court.
Right.
But to get back to this, because the former CEO, still a founder, came out to the fact that he was using the word nigga during his conference meetings and stuff, and it got out, the board, and this is the thing about being a publicly owned company, there's a board. And once you start hitting that bottom line, them niggas will fire your motherfucking ass, whether you founded the company or not. So they fired him as the CEO. They made him step down. He's no longer in the day-to-day. They pretty much kicked that nigga ass to the curb. Here's your check of whatever profits or whatever, but still don't fucking call us. I mean,
Right.
so Papa John decides to try to change his image. And the best way to change your image, especially in the black community, is to bring a black face on. So they reach out to Shaquille O'Neal. They offer him, I feel you on that, but he's a little more popular. He's from Newark. He's from a bad part of Jersey. He's done a lot of things for Jersey. He has a movie theater out there in Newark. He does a lot of great things for the lesser community, and his prices aren't as outrageous as a lot of other organizations are. So he's done a lot of great things for his people in his community. So they reach out to him. They offer him about 81,000 shares into the company, which comes out to about $4.4 million. They make him a board member, and then on top of that, they pay him $4.1 million to be paid over 3 years. How do you feel about this?
Well, our underprivileged people that don't have these opportunities might call him a sellout for that. But those of us who are entrepreneurs and who understand that if we don't elevate, if we don't get a hold of our socioeconomic status and where we are,
I love how you put that.
you know,
Damn. Serious.
yeah. If we realize that money talks, yes, but it also gives you power. All right? So, Shaq, I think, because of what you just said, I feel more comfortable with him being the face than I would, say, Michael Jordan. You know, because
That nigga still selling sneakers for 20 grand. He don't give a
so
fuck.
I feel like you need somebody, right, to to clean the dirt that you let come on, the stain that you put on your brand.
Right.
You need somebody to clear that stain. Who better than a black person, because this was an issue that dealt with black people, and we are consumers. We buy everybody else's stuff but our own. So, sure, I think it's gonna bring back Papa John's. I totally do. I think that Shaq is a good person for that. Do I think that he's selling out? You know,
I
no.
mean, here's what
Because-
people understand. Just like with the Jay-Z thing, it's a business
Right.
move.
Right.
This is a billionaire who's trying to continue to be a billionaire.
But
Shaq is
he
a
gives back. So
right.
that's
This is a
what makes it-
multi-millionaire. You know, Jay-Z gives back in his own way. Because a lot of times, a lot of these guys give back. They just don't want their names attached to it. Because if Papa John's, hey, Jay-Z just gave Papa John's $10 million. then another organization is gonna call you for $10 million because they
Right.
know you're giving $10 million out.
No, he's him and Beyonce. They
They
are
give a lot of
philanthropists.
fucking money
I
out.
was referring to Michael Jordan.
Well, no, I mean he does things too, but the man's about his money. It's about his
Right.
business. So I think I love Shaq for doing it because this is a man who's always giving back. I think he's the perfect person to do it in the way he did it, being a board member,
Right.
getting 81,000 shares, close to, I should say, sorry, 81,000 shares that are valued at $4.4 million, and getting $4.1 million to be paid out within 3 years. And the fact that he's already owned certain franchises in Atlanta, and the fact that he just opened up a brand new one in Los Angeles.
Oh, Papa John.
Right. So from a
Well,
business
I think that
standpoint, it's
he
phenomenal.
Okay, so now he's gonna buy Papa John's and he's gonna own them. I
You're
mean,
gonna
he
buy
should,
what's put money in your pocket. Absolutely.
he should have a program for people in the community to be able to own a franchise.
Okay. I don't know if he's doing that. He might be doing that,
Right.
but it's not his job to do it. And I always think I hate when black people, damn, why don't he help me out? Help your fucking
Right,
self out.
right.
Take the time and effort. It may not happen over fucking night. Just that
But
guy just happens to
just
be.
like LeBron has these schools that
Well,
are,
right. Well, LeBron
you know,
gives a lot back, but it's just like each individual is different.
right.
And I hate when people suspect or expect someone to do something for them. Go out there and get your own. Yeah, it may not happen overnight, but it'll
It's
happen.
hard.
Along shit, it'll feel better when it happens because you put the time and effort into it. You know what I mean? Like my similar situation. I went to school for 2 years. I graduated. All right, it's been 2 or 3 months. Something fun came out. I thought it was gonna happen right away, but shit, that
This is not
that
bad,
well, I
homie.
mean, compared to like when you put
people
2
been
years
waiting
in
for years for they
and
big
you
break.
expect things to happen right away because you
Right.
know motherfucking loan people gonna want their money real
90
fucking
days,
soon. You know what I
probably.
mean? So it's just more lines of like, it came, I put the time and effort in, and when it came big, and I'm loving it. But it's just more lines of you got to put the time and effort in, and it'll come back, it'll happen. So I will applaud Papa John's for not sitting there and being complacent and be
Right.
like, well, sooner or later it'll go away. They took action, and they just didn't pick any old black person. They picked a person who has had controversy with his wife, not drugs or anything else, but his personal life with his wife and cheating and things of that notion. But he didn't have any drug situations.
Right.
He's giving back to community on a regular basis. On a regular basis, and he does own businesses that employ black people.
Right.
So I commend him for stepping to him for
Me
doing
too.
this.
That was good.
I think it's a great situation. I love that it happened, and I will applaud them for doing this. And I will think about buying their pizza again because I loved it. I loved it better than Pizza Hut, and I loved it better than Domino's. It just tastes better. I'm bougie as shit. I like good things.
I gotta try it.
So shout out to them. All right, on to our last story.
I like this story.
Bring us home, young lady.
So, there is a debate about whether women should admit to their men, friends, baby daddy. Them. And Fantasia went on the radio the other day and said that women, the problem with relationships is that women, we're too independent and too liberal. We don't want to listen to our men. And that's causing the fall of the whole structure, family structure. So I totally agree with her.
You do.
Yes.
As horrible as your ass is, you willing to give your complete power and everything over to a man and pretty much sit there and shut up and do what you told.
Yes, the right man, yes. Because a man, we get it twisted sometimes, and we have to take responsibility for letting the wrong man lead us. Because sometimes we do listen to that man. If he's coming in, he got the swag, he bought you a new bag, and then you're listening to somebody who's on a path to nowhere and destruction, and you just riding the wave with them. And at the end of the day, you're going to crash and burn. So we've all all listen to the wrong people. Not all of us, but some of us, a lot of us, have listened to the wrong man. And then when we don't, we don't get what we feel that we deserve, then we want to trash the man and say, oh, well, I shouldn't have listened to him. Well, you shouldn't have listened to him. But if you find the right man who has all of your um, best interests in mind and in his heart, then he's not going to steer you wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, the man should still be the leader, the head. You're partners. You make decisions on, together. Some things you may have more power over, when it comes to, what you each are better at, whether it's finances or, discipline of the children. But at the end of the day, if you can't allow, or you, and see, I shouldn't even say allow, if you don't show your man that he is king, and if you don't treat him that way, then somebody else will.
I say this, and because I before you sent me this story, I thought about it because I saw a Jewish woman walking, and I thought about the whole certain religions who feel that a woman should be not heard, like they. Because it was funny because like she has a skirt on, then she has to wear leggings, so I'm like her box has got to be on fire. It's hot as shit outside. But it's just more lines of it's like with the religions where the men are so dominant and the woman's supposed to play the back and Muslims and a lot of things where, you have to, especially super covered up and the man can look at other people and this and that, but you can't do shit but get fucked and have babies. Mm-hmm. I will say this. I agree with you, E. I think at the right time, the right place, and the right individual, it can happen. I remember Irv Gotti, I don't know if they're still together, but he was dating this young girl. And she was saying how she wanted to be around someone who could teach her how to be self-sufficient and how to survive. Mm-hmm. She's like, what a young dude who's not successful, who's not about his life going to do but fuck me. She said, okay, after that, what else is there? I need to know how to survive. I need to know how to create my own, how to be independent. And an older person who she was with at that time, if she's still with him, I'm not sure, was the person, Irv Gotti was the guy who did it. But this isn't for everyone. Unfortunately, you have so many women who are broken, who've been through hot and hell water, and got to the point to where they refuse to let anyone try to tell them what to do, and they're super defensive. And it's not just a culture thing, it's been through the ringer thing. I will say this. As long as a person's telling you the right thing, listen. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you to do exactly what a person tells you, but if a person's teaching you how to be a better person, whether you like it or not, and that's what you have to understand, because you have a lot of people, just because someone's telling them to do it, they don't want to do it.
Right.
Just like when you're I'm sure whoever's been in a relationship, your partner said, well, I just talked to so-and-so, and she said to do this, so it made sense. Motherfucker, I just told you that shit 6 months ago.
Right.
But the fact that someone else said it, you want to listen now. Because you just don't, you're just that prideful that you will allow, okay.
Let's use an example.
Yeah.
A man tells you you're going out together to a party, and a man tells you that he doesn't like the outfit that you're wearing.
Okay.
Okay? It's too revealing. And some of our ladies, and it doesn't have to do with race, because there's loudmouth women and independent women all over the
all
world.
races.
And because we have maybe better jobs or jobs at all, not better jobs, but just because we can make our own money, we'll go into her, after he says take that off, she may go into the closet and say, or go to the mirror and say, I look fine. I'm not taking this off. Who is he to tell me what I should wear? I'm grown. I'm an individual. He's not my father. He can't tell me what to wear. And she'll go with her man to that party, and he'll feel this big walking in, if he even decides to still take you. Because some men will be like, oh, you're not changing? You're not going. Okay? And if you're going, you're not going with me. Okay, and you'll have him feeling inadequate because now all these other men are looking at his woman. She thinks it's cute. He thinks it's embarrassing. And little by little, you're losing your man. Like,
Agreed.
you don't know. You think he might go home with you tonight. And he might smash, and you might think, oh, see, baby, that's why I wore that to the party. And in the back of his mind, he's saying,
He
I
moved
can't
on.
be with a woman like this.
Absolutely
I
not.
can't be with a woman that doesn't understand that she represents me when we go outside. And if I'm, especially if if he's doing what he's supposed to do, taking care of you, taking care of the home, or whatever the case is, why not respect him enough to respect his feelings and his wishes? Maybe he should have said, baby, can you not wear that? Because I feel like I'm going to be. But can't you just respect your man's position without him having to explain it to you?
It's not just that, because what I have to explain to if you don't, just remember the kind of attention you're going to get. Is that fair to the person you're with?
Right.
Especially if you know what kind of body you got and you know how dudes are savages. I remember seeing many times where a guy would take his girl to Grand Concourse, a movie theater, 161st Street in the Bronx.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, why the fuck, of all places, would you ever bring your girl here? Because there's always 1,000 niggas ready to holler at your girl
Right.
in your fucking face. And if you ain't about that life, you ain't trying to step to 500 niggas who ready to like fuck you up and drag you down.
Right.
And the first argument you get into with your girl, she's gonna say, this is why them niggas dragged you.
Right.
So I will say this, it works for her. And she's happy.
Right.
And the
Right,
fact
right,
that she
right.
does make more money than him, she has more money than him, and they do have a prenup. So it's not about the money. She's happy. Now remember, before we get out of here, because we gotta get out of here, Fantasia is the same young lady who got played by a guy who worked for T-Mobile. I mean, so this is a woman who really wants to find love. So that
Right.
she was willing to date people who
It's not,
don't make
why
as
does
much
it
money
have
as
to
her.
matter how much money she makes, because at the end of the day, I know I'm a woman that wants to be a girly girl all day. I don't want to wear the pants in a relationship. I have. Shut up. You're shaking your head like you don't believe me.
I ain't fucking with you.
I don't. I just want to have a man that has
Right.
some sense that
Right.
I'm following.
Well, like you said, I will follow if the right person's leading.
Right.
So, ladies, just be, and fellas, for those fellas who the same way.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the person has your best heart and interest,
Right.
if it's making you a better individual,
Right.
making your life better, which make you better all around, dressing, school, work, whatever it is. Swallow your pride. Don't be afraid to be successful. Don't be afraid to be happy. And that's unfortunately, a lot of people fear being happy. They despise it because you're so used to being miserable. It's sad that people can be so used to being miserable, that's all they want.
Right.
Last words before we get out of here. And also, he's not going anywhere. There's a next show coming. She's going to be on that. So stay tuned. We're going to switch over
Yes.
at 9. It will be on What's the Definition of Love with Michelle Kasha. So look forward to that. And you can find out her love life and what's going on, what she feels, because she kind of bridged into it. So we're going to tell you. So any last
I'm
words?
glowing. We're not here next week. I finally remember.
I'm not sure. I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we might be, we'll post
We'll let you know. We'll keep you informed.
We'd like to hear your comments about the show. What do you think about the topic? If you have any topic ideas,
Oh, yeah,
also
please
you
share
can
with us.
share with us as well. But we always talk about what's going on, trending topics. So thanks for tuning in.
Peace.